Mama shefo nyina cho na mama shefo nyina akwa aba edi aba off enwumre kase boso we yensama edi adentwetwie e wo manga na mu ni akika bubom se enwumre kase
Order 4 Apostle Paul Kofi Odro ne Refiners Chapel International asafumuni nyina eto ensafra osebra na ene yembesom ewo Accra Taifa Junction spare parts fo no echi hope
ene ensom kwasiade di enini ene kwasiade bia anopa nonkono sa enso na eda efiade bia eyempebo kese pa eno so ye anopa nonkono no sa nyame enhira
we be as gold, pure gold.
Where are you? Where? Finally. Enjoy the fresh taste of Aqua Wera natural mineral water. This is my Wera. Great taste, truly satisfying.
Every morning, your skin begins a new story, a moment in the mirror to care, to refresh, to begin again. She starts with a turmeric clay mask, drawing out impurities, revealing a cleaner, healthier glow. Step into the shower and let your skin breathe. Boss Lady Bona Brightening Shower Gel, bringing your natural radiance to life. Boss Lady Bona Brightening Body Lotion, deeply moisturizing, softening your skin, leaving it smooth, radiant, and alive. Because your skin deserves more than care. It deserves attention. It deserves love. 100% organic, pure, gentle, effective. Feel the glow. See the confidence. Be your best self every day. For more details, contact us on 0246 505 174 or 0500 677 112. We are vetted and approved by FDA. Boss Lady Bona Cosmetics. Your glow begins here.
Mema Ghana fo nyina cho na masanso amama muni nyina akwaba edi aba off enwumre kase boso wei eyensema edi adentwetwie ewo manga na mu ni akika bubom self enwumre kase bo enamsomfo na akwasi amofa mababegina ha eni obabedi kasubom ewo ufidua emu ho yensemi etwagu ewo Facebook ubenya yo ho eye off TV sanso ena uko YouTuber ehonso eye off TV afi uko ufruko Google Play Store ubenya app no ho download you na fabra wo phone so sene ebeya bebia wonam bia no wonso ubetumi enya yen na wotimi edi nkita ho afi yenhwe nsem no ni eba bedi mu akotin no ebi National of Chief esu se sikai ni ho ema won adwuma afi ahemfo ehwehwe won ankasa budget ene wo mo ahufadie nhwehwɛmu kyerɛ sɛ akamfoɔ wɔ asan kɛseɛ mu ɛwɔ asabo yareɛ ɛho. Afi Kolebu allied health professionals enso ɛbɛyɛ ɔyɛ kyerɛ kɛseɛ pa. Yɛde ani bɛkyerɛ mu ɛwɔ ɛyɛ Tama community 10. Ɛhɔ na wɔgya kɛseɛ ɛtumi ase Monte Carlo Paba mene wo kasɛi ɛhɔ nyinaa ase brubo. Afi yiyu ambassador de ne ho abɔ galamsey ɛko no emu. Yɛbɛbɔ nso awura mu wɔ Mahama aka sɛ obɛyi double track ɛfiri hɔ ansana 2027 ɛtumi aba ne awieyɛ. Ne ɛtwa toɔ no ɛyɛ Blue Water Guard nkwada ɛbɛboro anampanifo ɛbɛboro 2000 ɛna ɔde wɔn kɔsɛ galamsey ɛko no emu. Afi yɛnda yɛho tɛw yɛba dɔnhwere baako ɛdi anim yi mede nsa no nyinaa ɛnkyerɛ mu ɛde bɛma. Afi nyabrɛgye brane ne mentena wabra medi nkyerɛmu yi ɛba bɛbɔ wei. Refiner Sapo International ɛna ekura me mu a medi mu nkyerɛmu ɛba bɛbɔ. Na ne edi kan a ne ɛda ne ɛkɔkɔpie mu ɛwɔ National House of Chief ɛna esu ɛwɔ wɔn sika ho. Na ɛnum no ɛna ɔmo se sika a wɔnya na ma wɔn adwuma etimi ɛkɔ no ɛma ntɛma ɔmo adwuma ayɛ den. Titro wɔ ahenie akasakasa ho. Brawa ɔkasa atwerɛ Parliament Select Committee on Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs no jobbing traditional area paramount chief Nana Otuo KASE3BO a ɔtɔ mienu aka sɛ ɛwɔ mu sɛ emra no gye wɔn tum deɛ nanso sika a ɔmo enya no ɛma ɔmo adwuma no etimi twe sensan ɔka sɛ consolidated fund anka bɛboa wɔn no ɛnɛ sika ne ntumi metom na ne ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ mu no ɛyɛ soronko. Osanso ka sɛ ahini akasakasa pii etimi akyɛ wɔn nsɛm ho efiri sɛ logistics ne nneɛma wɔde yɛ adwuma no esua nti wɔbɔkɔkɔ sɛ wɔnkyerɛ wɔn mmoa sɛ ebetumi ɛde ɔhaw ɛne amanneɛ ne ntwɛtwɛdɛ ɛyi afiri hɔ na afɔ mo nso etimi ade ɔmo ho afi nso wɔhyɛ ne mu kwan sɛ aban no betumi aboa wɔn ɛwɔ nsika ho yɛntie nsɛm a ɔmo etimi ɛde tu agya.
But that the institution which is established by the Constitution, supposed to be funded by the consolidated fund, being starved of funds to a point where it comes to, it becomes anemic and suffer death. You look at staffing of the traditional councils. A time was in the whole of Ashanti, there was only one bailiff at post. And there are about 35 traditional councils in Ashanti. Now, look at the harm that this can lead to. If you get somebody who is not a bailiff, accredited bailiff, to go and serve a summons, the person may take it all right, but tomorrow may raise in a point of law that his service was not properly done. It's a major due process because it was not served by a competent bailiff. And for all that you have done, it comes to naught. Staffing, there are a lot of people who are looking for jobs. Can't the staffing levels at the traditional councils, at the national House of Chiefs, regional House of Chiefs be strengthened to lubricate the wheels of justice that we are operating? A time was when legal advisor retired, and it took quite some time before we got somebody to my friend Usata to come in and serve as counsel for the registrar. Can't we have a symbiotic relationship where you can have the AG's office seconding, personnel to the House of Chiefs to act as legal consultants or as legal advisors? Because when we started hearing judicial cases here in 1975, Justice Akins was then the principal state attorney in Kumasi. Because there was no, we didn't have a registrar, we didn't have a counsel. It was a regret that he stood in and wrote all the was the legal advisor to the National Secretary, and that was done until 1977, when we got somebody to be fully appointed as full-time, But there are a lot of lawyers around. Now, by virtue of the law that we recently passed, there are going to be a lot more lawyers. Can't we have more of them come and help us with adjudicating cases? You see, the other time, somebody was lamenting that the litany of disputes and hotspots in terms of insecurity arise mainly out of tipsy matters. But if these are nipped in the bud by an early resolution of the matters that come up, some of them may not come to crisis level. When it's crisis, government is, alarmed. And they will put a lot of security. People go morning, noon, and night. But why don't you prepare the baby in such a way that it doesn't become a bad boy in the future? And then you save yourself all the problems and all the money that you want to spend on him. So when we're looking at money, it's not for our own personal edification or our own personal, aggrandizement, but it's to service the institution.
Mijramu ewa himfufo nsamani esanso ekopiemu ewa National House of Chief omo epenyini ena afi sahi anwiaso ehene ogia wowo ya utebi a otosumienu ehwe se Ghana ye besesa sane wo chesika a efri abotuo no enyina emu okase wo shani mpatemu a ahiafo kase pa ene wo ho ebesa sane ebetu sika ewa nimpesua so nanso wonya so emfaso wose sikafo no mo ye ho adwuma no omo asesa eho sika ni nyina da no da na di se mining companies and 9 and aye adwuma ewa ni mantamu baburu mfie edu awotwe nanso enkoso kakra bi pe ena na ni ehu ti obusa se adenti na mpatamu a sika wo ho no sika wo na sase so no omoda so edi hia ti abane hwe na wontumi enye sakra ye kase na ensesa sika a omo enye free abotuo mu no sane ebe ya ebetumi aboa ema mpatamu ahodo nso etumi aye.
Was directed to royalty payment to Nanano. Nanano are the Alodia title holders. My observation is that wherever you find resources in an area, it becomes a resource case. Why? I am coming from a mining area. I have 4 mining companies in my small traditional areas. Mensin Gold BBN Limited, Chirano Gold Mines, Ghana Bauxite, Awaso, and Kwanchu Mines. Awaso Bauxite Mines has been in existence for over 80 years. Awaso town roads are not paved. There is nothing to show for it. And that can also be spoken about Obuasi, Tapa, and other areas. Because this one too is money that part of it will come to Nanano, let us, for this particular issue, assume that BBN Gold Mines pays $1 million in a quarter as royalty. Government takes 900,000. And we are left with 100,000. Apart from taxes, the carry interest and all those things, government will take 900,000 and 100,000 is left for the community. Of the 100,000, 10,000 will go to administrator of stool lands. So we are left with 90,000 out of the $1 million. And of this, the municipal assembly or district assembly is allocated 55%, which works up to 49,500. So we are left with $40,500 for the stool for the community. That is why I am saying, if you are unlucky to have resources in your area, it becomes a case. 40,500. Assuming That 40,500 comes from a concession going through Bompata, Gabe, and another chief. You divide that also into 3, and that's about 13,000 plus. And so for that traditional area, it's 13,000 for traditional council and the stools affected. So you see, 1 million, and at the end of the day, it's only, let me take the 40,000, assuming it's in one area, one traditional area, 40,000. So since you are talking about what affects them, I'm drawing your attention to this. We need a radical review. And again, why is it that this portion should be paid into the consolidated fund before certain deductions are made before they come back to the traditional areas and the municipal assemblies? Because when they go there, we know what happens to the money. You are not even informed. You don't know. You ask administrators to land, they haven't given us any.
Na wo omobanu dani ensem ekanumu ebiemu no. Ena wasansu edi etu eja ekase. Sisi adi etwase wonanka sanya wonsika semu fa ahudie. A friend say budget. Eno ena waje wo ya ojebi otosumienu. Ekase se wode wonse ministry biase a eti wontumi eso epa. Wasi FPNDC braso watutu wana free ministry baakumu akofufromu impepi se said or Ministry of Local Government ase wasi ahinie eyomanu adie a fata omano na esanso fa adititro hum enti se wanya wonankasa tumi no wanfadi a enya brahini ensem ebetumi akoso yentie ni nsem a okaye edi chat.
Why should we work under a ministry in the first place? Nana Akuaposapon was the minister for chieftaincy and I think PNDC. Then when we go to Nana, that's our president after Mahama, that is Okwajekum Kofo. We also had Boafo. Then from there, that was why we were moved from that ministry to another ministry. Akikum Kofo was a ministry for chieftaincy. Akuaposapon was only a liaison officer, sort of, between the presidency and chieftaincy. Nana Akufo-Addo, we had Asamoah Boateng and others. And right now, we are under the Ministry of Local Government. So we realize that they keep depending upon the policy or the thinking of government in power, they push us anyway. So we are not happy. And that is why he is recommended, that is that even before they make us independent as a body, and grant us budget allocation as is done for, let's say, electoral commission or any other commission. Before that, put us directly under Jubilee House because we are an independent body. But I will ask Nana KASE3BO to case us through. Pardon me? Okay.
Ye free ahimfun semu na yakwa kopiemu ewa apomudin ensensemu a near the ani kwa Department of Medicine and Therapeutic wo University of Ghana Medical School omu payini Vincent Boyma ena akase enhwehwemu foforo kira se akamfo wo jin bia ede asabo yade ba na omu wo bebre ede singa ene arefo okaye wo abra na otimi eye lecture watu din se from genes to mind, holistic pathway to precious kidney care in Africa. Achi. Osanso ka say, wonu say, and semi ewo na ewo Nigerian so. Eno na ocho mu say, omoni ya resabia mu nim nimdifo, eye nsusemu na etumi aboa ama wo ho yade no ntem na wotimi etu ase ewo Asante Mantem. Yenti Sema or the teacher.
Show the unequal distribution among the ethnic groups in Ghana, with the accounts having a higher proportion of the high-risk variants of the APOL1 gene compared to the GANs and the ABs. We found a similar ethnic disparity in Nigeria, where the Igbos were more likely to have the high-risk variants of the gene compared to the Yorubas and the Fulanis. The explanation for this disparity is not clear to us, but what we understand is that this gene seems to be explaining the excess risk of kidney disease among the young people who are affected in our part of the world. And therefore, there's a need for us to look at these high-risk groups and look for people who may have a 2-risk variant, who may be at risk of developing kidney disease, or perhaps who may already have kidney disease, and provide a tailor-made precision treatment that can improve the outcomes of care. Especially when drugs become available that can block this gene, it will be very good for these particular populations that are at high risk of getting this gene-related kidney disease.
Dr. Vincent Boyma Esansu Ebo Koko se asabu yadie hu ayaresa hu kano edasu ehu eyedin ema Africa fo pi na wose ehu ehia se wo mankrofo enya nkyerɛkyerɛ afi wo ye screaming tam na wo hwewon ehu eye okase ni papi ehu se wo yade no bi wo bra yade no mamutumi ayedin tie basa tese edu kopiemu awomonone anansa ye de utu aya dialysis machines so na eno woda so ba ku biada ebuo na wutua no woda so be ya bosome miensa wanhwa wo manum etiri hu nyina be kuku ni senti na wo semu se so mutumi bua e mo ye nkyerɛkyerɛ na wo ye screaming tama sawa how no ebe free one time etumi ade ama wona ehu se wayare asabo yade no ebi.
Disease burden is too huge in our part of the world, and therefore if we allow people to be developing the kidney disease and coming to the hospital, it's not the way to go. We need to go out to the community, detect the risk factors of chronic kidney disease, hypertension, diabetes, lifestyle behaviors like taking in herbal medication, use of over-the-counter pain pills like brufen, diclofenac, etc. I believe we need to go out there and educate people on healthy measures that can prevent these things from causing kidney damage. Number 2, put in measures that can detect kidney disease even earlier, so we can institute measures that can delay the progression of kidney disease. It is important because this kind of treatment is more cost effective and less costly compared to how much you pay when you're on dialysis or how much you even pay for kidney transplant.
Sansu and allied heart professionals ewo Kolebu Teaching Hospital etumi ayo etre won sama e for laboratory governance any adwuma mu nsam ehom na Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals omo Kolebu chapter aka tre woni pase won sha abukoko sene be betumi aboa ema Ghana ban hu se omoni abrepa wo se wole hwehwe adwuma pa ni obu ewo won adwuma mo eni nti saban no anya ntam anya nsiesie amfa ma won dia ene hospital no ho adwuma no ebetumi aka na ye ntie nsema ene ne matimi ekoso won asoe Yekopiemu ewo John Jinapo eni ekuafo entam nina no ye yapei Kusegu MP John Abdullah Jinapo akasa what the fertilizer important by 2000 and we decide about 2000 etime abua kuafo wona edo ntosi emeko jeneni nyadoa afi wonu so edo koko ene ne ekeka won okanyei awo Johnson esiedu nketia thank you to nimu na wasi kuaye your country dra emma oman no enya nkoso wasanso ka said insupon how adaso e won patamu nanso wole yensiseye so obema insupa etumi aba no matimi enya bi anom afenso enya bi e dia yo won enema yentie ensema yape Kusagu MP John Abdullah Jinapo edituja
NDC there you be first always every time you be first ezu yedi kan the person me de enchia kese ema party chairman Samukaya 2020 Obaha abe support you make kese pa 2024 Osign Baha ebe support you me. Na minia na umpe we na umpe die. The chairman ya mawakwa bake siapa ba yape Kosovo constituency. It is the biggest constituency in Savannah region. It has the highest number of voters in Savannah region. It is all we need yape Kosovo. Not just a presidential there. Na DC akasa ye major problem wo bupe ha ensuo ye major problem na me hye mo bo say once am ye mo MPM minister na enche ye be ma mo pipe water mu bia ensuo ne be ba flow na mo nyamesu ezu akwan no so ya started gutters no ye wiebe ye be ya akwan ni nyina kama amamo na bibia koye ezu 24-hour market so ye wa ha be mesramo me babuchew munya abotre ema abanwe ye ba ye nyanya 2 years ago ye nimse mo pe adwuma ye nimse mo pe business afiwe mia me yisika ye to fertilizer 2,000 bags, condemn 2,000 bags, we decide 2,000 bags. Yeah, the farmers no mo dia boam. Ezu nti e pamuchew munya botrema party no. Say ye che e wa ban mu a ene kofi benya bi, e china akosu benya bi. Be say ye den to kwa na party no ko opposition a ye yan de beluso. Nti party chama, I wish you the best of luck. I welcome you. I thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the NDC. God bless everybody. Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
One samfu from Unu and our Wasam Kasapa and Etumi Apejanimu, our Tema Community 10. Na Ninginano, Ayo Jakasia Etimi Ato Monte Carlo Paba, Obia Koho Equadine, Nuba Monte Carlo Cabdiagana. Obia enimuho nanu ana Ghana National Fire Service at the fire tenders and num every Asaman industry area Newtown regional headquarters by say odi bedum ejano na ene hupa yanhwe wabra na ejano etimi se ene afi omudum ejano ewieye
just this December.
Chief. So the thing for us today to be Friday.
Eh? Market day.
Today be Friday too.
Market day. Yeah, it is a.
Tohoi and Odansifwe Fenisa Baba Jama Ekase electricity power and Edi Ojano etumi ba yeso omudum light ewo ho to obla light na saba biemunum and omu se ejakase etumi asase efi computer room wo edipie wonsomo and akwakodru nia yeni ehun entini nya no eyenkane a ekoye a esabaye and akofa ediaba
Baba Jama, the year Jama, the light look out in a samba, and a barry, for our best 60 to 40. The samba and about 7, let's take it almost 7. Yes, and say samba and very 7. The buy now make go inside the edge, man, by hand them to the work man. Our neighbors or more need to you don't know who's a smoke, no bit friend say, Jama, make here by now. A show computer room. That time, so now I'm in one security. Tell me, friend, boss. Let me go to fire service. When I'm a crowd, be on fire. You must different for head of the they'll be on fire. And the sign is okay, yeah, drinking spot. The drinking spot, they will normally be fridges and a kitchen, normal or. No, we're intimate. But the whole place in Apple, I bend it down, no crowd, you say, the gas, kitchen, no matter, the no more far back. Well, me suspect to say, light out in the coin and a soundbite, but it came with some power there to be anti control. Because I didn't hear or a buy and also a bar with hot power. And it's why it is done. We're starting with computer. And sana for up I said omo can never for no dey can get to say omo yesi why I dey bad mo be do here omo can never for che be connect pipe near dey ade alcohol in na never for the do why I dey ya ba na
na wabra ebasano ena tema central na sebejani Charles Forson etimi kohwa baabi a ensam no etumi asie no hu se niam pi ena asai wo ho gas cylinders asai speakers a omode ebola band no omode jugum check tubu chimi oba enyami boni o na me kwatiti asole wati ni nyina asai table ni niam afofra keka hu inada baabi akwabra ne etene edidie eno ena okase we die obesre asamesi no awrehupa na eniji sema ewom enese obibiada entumi enwu na yenhwe said enema esibi ekoso ne nsema odituja
Hey, you want to get close?
Okay.
That's the one now. Wait a minute.
I know you're my darling.
There, ha. Where some of them?
On the red bag.
Red bag. Correct.
So everyone will not have to kese now.
But me work as ana. One which now. It's your.
One some year and a time original fire service. Omo kasama for Ebenezer Yensu. Etumi adasi mampatamo for wamwa. Omutimi adibwa wamo. Chese de wanya fire service ni kura. Na wababa be somu pipe yi. Na omubu eguso. Na no say. Obia ni wa wotimi ahwe ne kra. Eno ena ababeda wa kanin semuse. Sisi aya wupi. Etumi adi ama anyinam. Eni oja ebanbo ehu. Ti omunhwe no mutumi bibi enfamfam.
Like we received good cooperation from the people of Committee 10. It's the same way we wish that every aspect of the country, everywhere people find themselves, when the fire service comes in to help or give you assistance, you are in distress, that's why you called on the fire service. Ensure that you give us that working space. You realize that the cooperation from them was very, very cordial, and it helped us. Just a little over 2 hours, we were able to contain the fire, and there was no casualty recorded as well. So what we asking is that when it comes to our operations as a service, try and help us, cooperate with us, so that we can be able to work and work smoothly. Thank you.
Mi boremu e wonsefu from ane kwako piemu e o manga na mu galamsey ese omanyi na ese yensuo yenkwaye eni yemfudie eno enenam so ema yiyu ambassador ono otinidin edi rocha etumi ekasaye edi for nature conversation woni NGO etumi enya aye ho eno na okase galamsey joma na tumi ayekase ewo won chebi office achieve na bra yiyu ambassador edi mo mangana runi scanibat ekoshe mi aye no okase sisi ede osaya galamsey no aye kase pa na aye hunso epa yentie nsema otimi edi tu eja.
So before coming here to the Chiva forest and in the Kibi area, I'd heard a lot about galamsey. Today we have visited a couple of sites. We've seen what it does to nature. We've seen also the conditions under which people are working. And we have started to understand the complexities of the galamsey file. We know that there is a strong commitment to do something about it. We know that there are problems with enforcing also this framework which has been laid down. And today we have seen or partly understood why. We can see whole communities benefiting from galamsey, but in the short term. We've also seen, and we can see here around ourselves, the effects it has on nature. And on top of what we can see, we know that it's polluting the water bodies. 65% of the water bodies in Ghana are now polluted due to galamsey. We know that it has effects on the health of the workers, but also of the regular Ghanaian consumer. Clearly, it has implications for governance. Clearly, it has implications for corruption. Clearly, it has implications for security also. So it's a very complex file. It's also an important file.
You have just stated.
To address a complex issue like galamsey, first of all, we need to think long term. We need to think sustainability. We need to have regulation, and we need to have enforcement of the regulation. It requires a lot of resources to do that, but now is a good time. Gold prices are high. We can have a regulated exploration of gold and still make a profit.
One kasamu ebiem no runi scanibat etumi di ensam etuja esha abanu enkura esem one famra eni ahweye enya adwumaden sane beya Ghana galamsey no befru anya sapadia eni mfie da yanimu ehu osanso eka se European Union ayeka de so babua Ghana ewo galamsey ekunimu na yentie ensema okaye edi chatu.
So the EU is doing a multitude of things in Ghana. We are partnering in Ghana in a series of areas, certainly in development cooperation, also in security and defense, and we are very willing to partner with Ghana on the Galamsey file also. We are involved in Galamsey or protection against Galamsey through a number of projects, but we are certainly willing to do more, but together with government. Everything we do is in coordination with government, and also the fight against Galamsey would be in coordination with government. I think it's important to have a dialogue. I think it's important to increase and encourage responsibilization. Time will show if it's enough to ensure sustainability. Time will show if the enforcement that has to go along with such a framework is happening. Our stance is that what we are seeing today is definitely not sustainable.
Yepiemu ewa NPA CEO Edwezi Kuzo Tamakro and akase yedendes in woman crew wesienu kokobo edima wana waye fuel ejuma money no wasi aseng ewa Western Naval Command ewa sakandino authority no etimi akase ye koya ofaso abogana mpoano eho eban na yentie nsama odi tuja efa niema omotimi edi ewiemu ewo Western Naval Command wo sakandi.
The authority has a very robust system. In fact, a robust command center that allows us to track every bulk road vehicle. But these ones, how are you going to track them? And the essence of the tracking is to allow us effectively ensure that whatever product is moving, we are able to track it, because they'll be moving from dedicated depots. But this one, you don't know what depot is it. And so beyond this, remember that this one is intelligence-led. They don't operate in the day. They operate in a very clandestine manner. But thankfully, because we are working together with the security agencies, they have the skill set to lead these operations with intelligence. And that is where we are. The next one I don't want to disclose. That is to know the people who are buying this product. But you don't want to put that in the public.
So apart from the one bet.
It's already 5. Yes, so we are about 8 of them. And this one alone, one can pick about a tanker that takes 54,000 liters. This one can take 2. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. No, in fact, 5, right? So this 5 alone can take, that's about 10 trucks. Yes. So if they do back forth, you can imagine. So if you are doing 10, that's 540,000 liters of petroleum product, 1 round. And so they are yes. Yes, so we'll be doing the next one at the Eastern Naval Command in Tema, Newtown. Because we want to send a clear message that enough is enough. Enough is enough. So basically, that's why we're. And you see, if you pick this one, and assuming that it's 540,000 liters, right? On every liter, there's 1 cedi on it. That's 540,000 Ghana cedis gone. So, I mean, in terms of the economics, begin to do it. Begin to do the calculation. That's huge sums of money. And so we believe that together, we can all fight this. And the media kindly help us propagate this. Thank you so much.
Mi kwako piemu ewa Ghana mampanyini aswaye yera John Many Mahama slemu sejata eneni ayemfonum etumisia ye wabrana nanum efreti fidu eba ne nsraye ewa ne tibia emu eno na mampanyini John Many Mahama akache local government chieftaincy and regional affairs minister Ahmed Ibrahim say Ahmed yensisaya ebetumi amahemfo ene district assembly etumi ehia mu mprempi Omampaini se wajidi se oya sansi se ya ebabua ama nkoso adwuma etimi akontem yenti ensemagana mampaini attitude.
I therefore welcome your commitments in the area of project monitoring, social mobilization, educational advocacy, conflict prevention, environmental protection, and community accountability. Indeed, just yesterday, Cabinet was meeting to consider government's response to the Constitutional Review Committee report. We didn't get to the aspect of chieftaincy, but I'm anxious to see what amendments have been put there, because before the whole process started, I had advocated that the National House of Chiefs should make representation so that it will be captured in the amendments to the Constitution to give chiefs a greater role in terms of local administration. And so this your presentation is very timely. It will guide Cabinet when we look at the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee report. Your proposals for joint monitoring of development projects is particularly important. One of the greatest frustrations of our people is the gap between projects that are announced and projects that are completed, between funds allocated and value delivered. If chiefs and community leaders become active partners in monitoring mechanisms, monitoring implementation, we will significantly improve transparency, accountability, and quality assurance. And I'm sure that this is something we can work on together with the local administration, that is the district assemblies, that traditional rulers and district assemblies together occasionally meet to review the progress of work on development programs within your traditional areas and within the district. I'm therefore directing the Minister for Local Government, and the Minister is here, to create a framework where traditional rulers and district assemblies can meet occasionally to review the progress of work on critical infrastructure that government is undertaking in your various traditional areas and districts. There should be regular coordination meetings, project monitoring mechanisms where the district assemblies, district chief executives, and the traditional rulers physically go to the site of development projects to review the state of work.
Omampaini John Many Mahama esanso ekasachre mu ebiam se wode butaye etumi ato se obeyi eye free SHS double track yam kwadai ebi ko green na ebi ko yellow no enkodu afimpim mienu ni eduonu ensumu de na eto etumi acha eno so na waka se wo ye adwuma ewo adisuadan mu se obesisi adan awudo bebre afi ekwan nkania nsem ena afi bebia emofra no edi wonti ebatoto osazo ka se wo be ye transformer replacement project ewo etifidu mantemu afi no obema ono nso nitumi awowo se Ghana mampani no etumi ahyema ewo nsama watumi akache wono emu yenti nsema osanso editoaso.
One of the major investments we're going to make in the program that is taking over from the extended credit facility that has just ended today, and today we've come at a very auspicious occasion because we've concluded the IMF program. And we're moving into the policy coordinating instruments. And in the policy coordinating instrument, we're creating space for the investment of 1% of GDP in key areas. And one of the areas that has been identified is commercial agriculture. And the northern region has vast arable lands to host large-scale agriculture. And so northern region will be one of the main beneficiaries, including agro-processing and agribusiness. And so this is why our government is prioritizing investment in roads, irrigation, education, healthcare, energy access, and local industrialization across the northern region. Work is already progressing on critical road corridors, including rehabilitation and upgrading of trunk roads, linking farming communities to markets. We're expanding rural electrification and investing in water systems. Indeed, just to mention a few of the projects that we are undertaking, these would include already the 300 transformer replacement program that I visited when I went to the northern region. It is well underway, and you'll find that in many of your communities, the old transformers are being taken off and new higher capacity transformers are being replaced. Aside from that, we have signed the agreement, and the Ministry of Education will soon start the Star J project. This is going to be investments in the education sector, especially the secondary school sector, so that we end the double track system. Because we set a target that by the end of 2027, no school in Ghana should be running double track. And so we're going to expand classrooms, lecture halls, dormitory blocks in existing schools in order that we can accommodate as many students as possible. This will also include improving Category B schools into Category A, and then Category C schools into Category B, so that our children can have better learning outcomes in the various schools. And so that's
Obesi akumaya risa ewo Tamale akosi broni efran cardiology center fufro ewo Tamale teaching hospital wasi risa bi ebeboa emenipa ewo northern region enum nimu se uko bibi ti se ebupe na vrongo num udi wani echiremu upper east upper west num omu ebetumi enya sa enimu echefa nya bramudo mani bepiemu ewo nkran ana Kumase no omatumi aba be omakomemu iyade no no na siwe bema ayarisa ayemro amani papia wono ewo.
We also, as Your Royal Highness mentioned, are building a new cardio center in the Tamale Teaching Hospital. In the whole of the 5 northern regions, there is no cardio center, and so any persons who had strokes or heart attacks or any cardiac incidents had to either come to Kumasi or Accra for treatment at great cost to themselves and their family. And so we're citing a new cardio center in Tamale so that it will serve the entire 5 northern regions for people who have cardiovascular diseases.
And some no dear chatuo emu enye nina no aye blue water garden aye womo se omo na baby aye gadam se no omo nkoba ho ban eno and a Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Ama Kofibua aka say district babro ha our region and wachimua omotimi anya blue water gas ebi wasi gas no dudu osisi edu 2069 wasanso ka say when we sagalam say eso etumi atipa wamia omudi blue water guard for ekono eno no si we ye kwaya abano efaso abonsuo ni abode ho eban.
The establishment of the Blue Water Guards in March 2025 started with the Western and Western North regions. Today, the Blue Water Guards initiative has become one of government's strongest responses to the growing threat posed by illegal mining on our rivers and our streams. What began as a targeted intervention has today expanded into a nationwide environmental protection force. We are operating across 8 regions and more than 100 districts affected by illegal mining activities. As we speak, 1,617 trained Blue Water Guards have been deployed to serve as vigilant protectors of our water bodies and our river ecosystems. These brave men and women continue to demonstrate patriotism, discipline, and commitment in safeguarding the future of our nation. The beneficial regions currently include the Western region with 13 districts, Western North with 9 districts, Ashanti with 12 districts, Central with 9 districts, Eastern with 8 districts, Volta with 1 district, Savannah region with 4 districts, and Upper East region with 4 districts.
Aha, ene braba ba me kwan na don hwe ba ko ensema ye boa no off kasamfo yini so se kasebo no musomfo na kwasia mufa de Ghana yina agimatum se ba kan kasebo a me na mitum ekiremu ye ema omo ete ase me de ebre wo no koso ne yentena wei ene beboa wo aha ye we sa ade ba kan kasem ye wi a na ne ote brofo no nso etimi ahwe kasamfo ninum ewo brofo mu ti ade bo ba ko ena ekum enuma mienu enti akase Commandant Production Team Titro ni Mr. Teddy, you are too much. Afi, Mr. Law, so Metiao. Apostle Paul Kofi Odro, and Tiakasi and Commandant Refiners Tap International, and the Cremimu, and that was Siada, Yatu and Sadi Fro, some miracle service no, but Homodane, now so far Hubajim, our Refiners Tap International, yes, Sasia non Kono. Premo ebebo apem simedia sano na yetumi apon enti brana bajo fa wodi enti agase enkoma Cynthia Mawuto my lovely sister Cynthia Mawuto awuto aduane ewa La Paz Cynthia enti agase enkoma oba ho fe nyame nsho na onya wo kase mama pabu wonso enti agase enkoma Anita Pokwa Smith obanita mechia Mr. Newton wonso so yen edia wo de ba jollof wonso enti agase enkomfama ye mama Victoria Prin USA Woni atena Dr. Kwesi Abua afino wona keka hu bi ene last number 64 wonso utumi ehye babies oboase enchiakase enkonfama mo aha ena mede usie nyame pa eda ye china no onum ni famesa nso abawa kwem me mahwefo nyina moni hwe a akisi